In this video, I'm going to show you how you can write blog content quickly in 3 different ways. Now, this is a blog that I built approximately, I think it was round about last year, the beginning of last year-ish. And I spent days, weeks, just so much time trying to write content myself and produce it. And it was becoming a real strain because all I was doing day in, day out was writing. But the truth is that the quality of the content I was producing just wasn't up to par. It didn't read well. Therefore, it may have done well with Google or wherever I was posting it. It wasn't actually connecting with my readers. And at the end of the day, if your content does not connect with your readers properly, you're not going to get your end result because the readers need to understand what you're saying. My journey started off here, and I'm going to basically just talk about this small section right here because this leads me on to method number 1, which is writing the content yourself. Now, in theory, writing the content yourself is all good because it means that you've got full control over everything that's going on. However, writing content can be quite strenuous if you're not a natural writer or you're someone who is trying to learn how to write well and fluent. It's going to take time for you to get to that level. And then even when you do get to that level, you've got to churn out quite a lot of content because it's not just writing the content which needs to be done. You've also got the optimization, the SEO side of the content. So you may be able to make it readable for viewers and you may be able to make a connection with them through your writing, but is it going to have the same appeal with Google? How are they going to feel about the content as well? Because there's a fine balance between human-friendly content and Google and Co readable content, okay? Both of them are kind of trying to get the same thing, but it's got to be created in a certain way. What sort of writer am I now? Am I going to spend hours, days, weeks, months, even years sometimes, learning what it takes to get that fine balance? And then am I going to basically spend day in, day out producing rankable content that reads well? If you are, fantastic, you can actually probably end this video now. But if you're like me, let's go back to the graph and start method 2. Okay, so method 2 actually started around about this period, and I'll say it was probably around about from here to here. And you can see I did actually have a little bit of spike in traffic, but ultimately not much was going on. Now, I had a spike in traffic because I did something a little different from the first section, hiring content creators. That's right, I was actually going to third-party platforms like Fiverr and People Per Hour and all the other little micro sites where I can get a bargain on the articles, and I was paying anywhere from, I would say, I think it was about $10 to $100, which got me anywhere from 100-word blog post to 1,000-word blog post. And if you've got a lot of cash flow, then yeah, these sort of things can be really easy to do. But as you can see by the graph that I just showed you, I wasn't really getting much results. Now I can say, hey, this was actually because maybe my keyword research wasn't as good, or perhaps there were the freelancers I was using weren't that great. But at the end of the day, I was spending money and I wasn't seeing a return. If you're trying to run a business through content creation and really, if you start going into the negative or nothing's happening for you, the truth is it's going to fail. You need to start seeing a return somehow. Some of the problems that I kept coming across when I was outsourcing the content creation were like the freelancers meeting deadlines, and then sometimes they wanted to charge a bit more, and I needed my content to be produced in English UK, but they're producing it with a lot of American terms, and then sometimes they just didn't even follow the spec, and it's actually quite draining. And then what you realize is that actually, am I really saving that much time outsourcing the content over when I was just creating it myself? And to be honest, I saved a little bit of time, but I actually got a little bit more stressed and I just wasn't really getting the result. So now I was paying all of this money out all the time. I was, going backwards and forwards, micromanaging everything, and then I still wasn't seeing a return. So let's go back to the graph so we can start method 3. So round about, I think it was round about here, because there was a little pause in time. This is when I went over to method 3 and I really started seeing results. I was actually quite happy with the results. I didn't see a massive return back, but I started seeing something coming through, and it was because I was able to scale without the need of freelancers or, micromanaging people, and I didn't need to create the content completely myself. It was kind of like a hybrid version of both creating content yourself and hiring third party, and I call this the software method. Okay, so there's so many softwares on the market that allow you to produce content. Now I've used loads of them, and there's some good ones out there and there's some not so good ones out there. Near where this really started spiking was when I started using a tool called Jarvis, which is actually a fairly new tool. It's something that I actually discovered not so long ago, and the way this works is it uses AI technology to basically revamp your content or to give you ideas, and it uses high converting templates and. Now, I'll leave a link in the description which will get you basically a free trial of this software. I'm a firm believer that you should never invest in a software until you've tried it and you can actually see yourself getting results or you find it handy, okay? So I'll leave a link below in the description for you. Go check it out. But let me show you how it works in action. Okay, so here I am in the software, and there's loads of different templates that you can start utilizing with your blog content. Now, let's just say you wanted to do a blog. So you'll click on blog, and what you can see is you now have 5 different options. You have the content improver tool, which basically put in your existing content into the software, which will make it a lot more engaging and just basically easier for your audience to understand. And I actually found that's a really good tool, and I do have separate videos on this channel where you can have a watch of every single feature capabilities of it, because I've actually spoken a lot about this tool. Next, you can see blog post topic ideas. So this is actually brainstorming new blog post topics, that are designed to not only engage with people but also help rank content. Okay, so if I just quickly click on this, for example, blog post ideas, you will simply feed the information, a little bit of information about what it is you're trying to achieve. So you'll put in your company name, you'll put in the description, your audience, and the tone of voice. Okay, then once you've done the examples, you can actually say, right, software, how many times do I want you to create this piece of content? So I've got variety, or you can actually create separate multiple blog posts about one thing, which means you're basically exploiting in the best possible ways one topic, one blog post idea, but you're ultimately creating tons and tons of unique content and unique versions of that blog. Then you have stuff like blog post outlines, so create lists and outlines for articles, works best for listicle and how-to style blogs or articles. So again, if we just jump into this, let's type it in. So 5 ways to create better blog posts. Okay, then I'm going to just do professional, and you can output it in different languages. So if you've ever, want to start targeting different geos, you can actually say, hey, I want it created in Spanish, Chinese, blah, blah. But I'm just going to do English and then English UK and output 2 outputs. Okay, so now what you can see is that we've actually got a whole list of blog ideas. So write a list post, turn your story into an infographic, create a video blog post, share some quotes with your audience, include images in every blog post. Okay, so these are all ideas that you can start using for outlines of your blog, or you can actually take each one of these things and create a massive blog. In fact, you can actually take that one line like so. So let's just do turn your story into an infographic. Okay, you can then go back to templates. Okay, then you can actually go back here and click on blog post intro paragraph, then paste it in like so, and paste it into the blog post title, then audience. Who is your audience? So let's just say content creators, okay? Select your tone and say, hey, generate AI content. And then you can see you've actually got 2 intro paragraphs that you can use, okay? And then you can actually take this information every step of the way and have a Jarvis create your whole blog post. Now, is this the best and the only ways you can create content? Well, no, there's loads of different ways you can do it. There's loads of tools on the market. There's loads of people who do these sort of services really well, but sometimes when you're just starting off, or you've hit a brick wall and you don't really know what direction to go into, using the software method, the hybrid method, which in my opinion is kind of like the best of both worlds, when you're kind of working on a budget and you don't really want to invest until you know that your ideas are doing well and what's not. Well, these are the sort of results that I've been getting, which is a big increase with everything. You can see some days I'm getting 15 clicks to my website, and now that it's really starting to grow, I'm just going to be hammering down on the content. It's amazing how much motivation you get when you actually start seeing results. And the reality of it is that once I was on the right path with everything, once I found the method that worked best for me, these results just really didn't take that long to do. Some people will get better results, others will get worse, but the truth is that you really want to start seeing a return on everything that you're doing, and the return is whatever you consider as a return, whether that's more traffic, whether that's money, whether that's engagement, whatever it is. You really gotta say, hey, am I getting a return from doing this? No. Am I getting a return from doing this other thing? No. Am I getting a return from that? Maybe. So it's really important to, define what a return is for you, and then find out which method works best for you. Do not invest in this software without using the free trial, and you can get the free trial at trialjarvis.com, or click the link in the description below, which will get you the 10,000 free credits before you invest in it. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've got any questions, leave them below.